You know, we all want our homes to be the super cozy safe haven for our cats during the winter. But what if some of the things we do for our own comfort are actually silently making them miserable? Well, we're about to pull back the curtain on 7 common, really subtle mistakes that could be messing with your cat's health right now.
Just think about it for a second. Your thermostat's cranked up to a nice, comfy temperature, the house is all sealed up, and everything feels perfect, right? But for your cat, that same environment could be a minefield of hidden problems. We're talking everything from respiratory issues to chronic pain. And the worst part? It's literally in their DNA to hide it from you.
And what's really wild is just how common this is. Get this, studies have found that over 60% of cat owners, people who absolutely adore their cats, are unknowingly making at least 3 of these mistakes every single winter. And we're not talking about obvious stuff here. These are silent stressors happening in homes that look just like yours.
So why is this happening? Well, it all boils down to a massive difference in our biology. What feels comfortable to us humans, well, it's a completely different world from what a cat needs to feel comfortable. Let's dive into the science. Wow, okay, this slide right here, this shows you everything. Just look at that gap. We feel great at around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, right? But for a cat's body to be truly at rest in what's called their thermoneutral zone, they need the temperature to be between 86 and 97 degrees. That is a staggering difference. Anything below that, and their little bodies are having to burn extra energy just to stay warm.
And here's why this is so critical. Your cat is not going to tell you they're cold. They just can't. That ancient survival instinct to hide pain, to hide any weakness, is baked right into them. They suffer in silence. And that's exactly why it's on us to spot these hidden dangers in their world.
All right, so with that in mind, let's jump into the first couple of mistakes. These are the invisible dangers that could be lurking in your home right now, starting with the most obvious one, the thermostat. So you set your heat to 70 degrees and think you're good to go. But like we just saw, that's way below your cat's happy place. So you gotta watch for the little clues. Is your cat always parked on your warm laptop? Or curled up in the tightest little donut you've ever seen? That's not just them being cute. That's them trying desperately to save body heat. Now, the answer isn't to turn your house into a sauna. It's to create little warm spots or microclimates just for them. A heated pet bed can be an absolute game changer. But here's the thing. Even if your thermostat is set perfectly, there's another, much sneakier problem: invisible cold zones. And the biggest culprit is something you probably look at every day and think is totally fine: your closed windows. So here's how this works. The cold outside chills the window glass. The air right up against that cold glass gets chilly too. And because cold air is heavier, it sinks. This creates a constant, invisible waterfall of cold air that just pools on the floor, which is exactly where your cat probably loves to hang out. Their favorite spot to sunbathe in the summer has just turned into a freezing cold trap in the winter. Okay, so we've dealt with the cold. But the very thing we use to fight the cold, our heating system, well, it creates another huge invisible problem that can really mess with your cat's entire respiratory system.
And this chart, wow, this is really eye-opening. For a cat's lungs and nose to be healthy, the humidity should be somewhere between 40 and 60%. But the moment we crank on the furnace, the humidity in our homes just tanks, dropping to desert-like levels. We're talking 10 to 30%. That is a massive, unhealthy difference. All that dry air irritates the super delicate membranes in your cat's nose and throat, making them way more likely to get sick. So keep an eye out for things like a lot of sneezing or watery eyes. And if you ever see your cat breathing with their mouth open, that is a serious red flag. The good news? The fix is simple. Just get a humidifier to bring that moisture level back up where it belongs. Okay, let's move on from the air around them and talk about what's going in them. These next 2 mistakes are incredibly common, and they can have a huge impact on your cat's hydration and nutrition. So here's something you might not know. Cats naturally drink less water in the winter. Now picture this. You combine that natural tendency with a bowl of ice-cold water sitting on a chilly floor. It's not just unpleasant for them, it actively tells them, "Don't drink me," which can lead to really serious kidney and urinary problems down the road. The fix could not be simpler. Just use room temperature water.
So how can you even tell if your cat's dehydrated? Here are 3 super quick checks you can do right now. First, gently pull up the skin between their shoulder blades. It should snap right back. If it goes down slowly, almost like a tent, that's a sign. Second, check their gums. They should be wet and slippery, not dry or sticky.
And of course, number 3, any sudden drop in energy is always a warning sign.
Oh man, we have all been here. You put down your cat's absolute favorite wet food, they trot over, give it a little sniff, and then just walk away. And you're thinking, what the heck? They're just being picky today. But the real reason might have nothing to do with the flavor at all.
This slide basically explains everything. Out in the wild, a cat's meal, fresh prey, is at body temperature, so it's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Their entire biology is hardwired to expect warm food. So when we serve them something straight from the fridge at a chilly 40 degrees, it's not just unappetizing, it also doesn't smell right to them. Cold food releases way fewer aromas, and smell is a huge part of a cat's appetite.
So the big thing to remember here is that this isn't just a fussy preference. It's about their physiology. Cold food can actually be tougher for them to digest. If you notice your cat is getting pickier or even losing a little weight in the winter, this could absolutely be why. And the solution takes like 10 seconds. Just add a splash of warm water to their food to warm it up a bit. It makes a world of difference.
All right, let's get to our last 2 mistakes. And these are a big deal because they really challenge some of the core things we believe about cats. How tough they are and how independent they are.
Get this, an estimated 90% of cats over the age of 12 have arthritis. For those cats, a cold tile floor or a hardwood floor isn't just a little chilly, it's actively painful. The cold makes their joints stiffen up and turns every little movement into a major effort. But they won't limp like a dog would. Instead, you'll see other signs. They'll just move less. They'll stop jumping up on the sofa, and you might just think, oh, they're just getting old. But so often, it's actually pain. Just putting down some thick rugs or a thermal bed can radically improve their quality of life. And that brings us to the 7th and final mistake, buying into the myth of the totally self-sufficient cat. We see them as these cool, independent little hunters, but that image is seriously dangerous in the winter. Our house cats have lost a lot of their wild ancestors' survival instincts. Leaving them for the weekend with an automatic feeder, thinking they'll be just fine, that can turn into a disaster if the power goes out and the heat dies. They are simply not equipped to handle a cold house by themselves. They are completely dependent on us to keep their world safe and warm. So let's run through them one more time. We've got the temperature trap, those sneaky, invisible cold zones. Number 3 was ignoring dry air. Then, serving chilled water and cold food. We also talked about overlooking cold surfaces, especially for our senior cats. And finally, believing that myth of self-sufficiency. Now, these might all seem like little things, but when you add them all up, the impact on your cat can be huge. The best part, though, is that now you know. And all of these have really simple fixes that can make a profound difference in your cat's comfort and health this winter.
You don't have to tackle everything all at once. Just start with one thing. Maybe it's getting a humidifier, or just taking a few seconds to warm up their food. Or maybe it's as simple as moving their favorite bed away from a drafty window. Your cat trusts you, 100%, to keep them safe and cozy. And now you've got the knowledge to really deliver on that promise. So what's the one small, easy change you're going to make for them today?
Before you go, remember this. Your cat is doing something right now that most owners completely miss. At Feline Frontier, we don't just share cute cat facts, we uncover the hidden meanings, the quiet signals, and the strange behaviors your cat uses every single day to communicate with you. From the sounds that instantly calm a stressed cat, to the tiny habits that prove they trust you, to the mistakes that silently hurt them more than you realize. Everything here is designed to help you understand your cat on a deeper level. So if you've ever looked at your cat and thought, "What are you really trying to tell me?" You're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe to Feline Frontier, because the next video might explain something your cat has been waiting years for you to understand. See you in the next frontier of feline truth.